I'm Marwan,
Hello, I'm Sam.
and we are here to talk about the increase in economic productivity capacity in Chinese SMEs, as this was essential to the substantial growth of the population over the centuries.
These increases in productivity also created consequences like environmental strains and increased volume of trade. Innovations helped advance agriculture as many new practices and plants were discovered.
One example of this was when the Chinese invaded Vietnam and discovered the champa rice. Keep in mind, innovations don't necessarily have to be methods or ideas. They can also be products or items. This champa rice was superior to the previous rice, as this rice allowed 2 harvests in a single season, allowing there to be a surplus of food. One innovation that dramatically helped the countryside of China is terracing. Terracing took advantage of the mountainous side and enabled the use of arable land that wasn't accessible before. Another innovation was the use of harnessing the animals for to use and assist in cultivation. Animals like the oxen and the water buffalo are much stronger than humans.
Complex irrigations were created as the solution for lack of water, and not only reservoirs were made, but also canals, pumps, and water wheels to help transport water. This increased the agricultural potential.
Another innovation that had a dynamic effect on the Chinese lifestyle was silk. Silk was an unknown to the rest of the world, as it kept it a guarded secret. Correction. They tried to keep it a secret, but 2 monks came in and spilled the beans. But that didn't happen for another couple of centuries. Silk was a fabric that only the rich could afford and buy, so naturally the rest of the world wanted it, which created a high demand and so resulted in the Silk Road. The Silk Road was also for products, but silk was the main focus. The fact that China alone had silk created what is called a favorable balance of trade, when they only wanted to export but don't need to import. As China had everything they needed in their own territory, silk increased their volume of trade. Silk resulted in China being prosperous in trade for years, which helped their population increase even further.
An important innovation that changed the world was bronze metallurgy. Bronze was used for weapons, chariots, and ritual vessels.
They also implemented bronze tools which allowed them to upgrade from hoes to better hoes. This allowed them to farm more effectively than before, increasing agricultural output. This allowed them to improve their weaponry, as a metal sword is better than a stone sword. This upgrade allowed for more superiority over those with lesser materials, like the Shang had over the northern China.
China started to get bored of bronze after 1,000 years and decided to use newly discovered iron, faster, stronger, more durable. It was a huge upgrade from bronze, but it was eventually used against them by their nomadic neighbors.
Another innovation spread and created was the saddle and the horse stirrup. Another innovation spread and created was the saddle and the horse stirrup. These two were created out of a need for more comfortable and efficient transportation on the horse. The saddle allowed cushioning, and the stirrup allowed an increase in the maneuverability of the horse. These factors have brought in a huge boost in population, as it tripled, which is part of the reason why China is the most populated country in the world today. This reflected the productivity of the agricultural economy and the distribution of food. The increased food from the innovations encouraged increased urbanization to occur. China was so advanced that by the Song Dynasty, it was the most urbanized land in the world. These innovations were created to deal with the environment's flaws. These techniques and technologies brought many changes with them, like urban growth, agriculture production, population growth, and fortified societies. And this concludes Key Concept 3.3.